Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan metal video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the golden metal cooler stage of the Super Dragon Ball Heroes Red Zone. So this is the stage 5 versus golden metal cooler. A little bit harder than lags. Cooler can hit decently hard. I think the first phase hits around 600k, 700k with the super, and I think the second phase is roughly the same as well, or a little bit higher, maybe closer to 1 million. Immune to stunning, immune to attack lowering, defense lowering, sealing, etc. So nothing too wild, but also the boss doesn't do anything too wild. The team we're running here is under the physical Super Saiyan Rose, or otherwise, known as Crimson Mask Saiyan, Super Saiyan Rose Full Power. And I wanted to originally run more like a Time Travelers team, like with Zin's Master and that, but then I realized that Rose's passive, at least when he's in base form, basically requires me to have the majority of the team being crossover, like 3 or more. So I did have to tweak the team, and it wasn't as kind of mixed as I'd like. That being said, Rose does a pretty decent job. It's a 55% version there. Remember, he guards all attacks if we have 3 or more crossover category allies on the team. And then he also can do some pretty nuts damage when he transforms. His transformation's really where we're at. We'll get that at around turn 5. When he transforms, we get a 40% HP recovery, recover 15% HP at the start of the turn afterwards. Key +4 attack and defense at 200%, and then obviously he can launch quite a few super attacks. So hopefully he can score some real big damage. Alongside him, from the crossover side, we do have the Tech Golden Cooler, who is actually going to be really good in the second phase. Tech Golden Cooler is a great support for the DB Heroes category. I think that's really solid. And then he also has, at least from my side, some really strong defensive capabilities, especially after super. He stacks damage reduction based on how many super attacks he does, and he can very easily, if you're running a DB Heroes team, do multiple super attacks. So he can kind of end up in this position of being pretty tanky. I actually think he's really well designed, and I like running him a lot. Then we have Super Hearts, probably a unit that needs dupes the most. Super Hearts just feels like until you get a couple dupes in him and a couple links and link level 10, he doesn't feel super impactful. Feels decent, but doesn't feel super duper impactful. I think he could do a bit more. Obviously his transformation can score some pretty big damage, but also gives him another turn of guard, which is going to come in helpful because we are basically running against an AGL second phase, which is quite important, obviously to keep track of. Then we have the Dark Mask Saiyan, a crowd favorite, and it's understandable why. He has 150% defense for 5 turns after receiving an attack, and then he also gets guarding all attacks when there's another DB Heroes category ally attacking in the same turn. He recovers 10% of damage dealt to his HP, which is pretty good. If you build him full crit and you get a crit, you can basically almost fully heal yourself a lot of the time, which is pretty impressive. I think he's probably a crowd favorite for a reason. He is very good, and I do think he's a lot of fun to run. Then, here we're getting the transformation for Rose. Pretty good one. The only shame with Rose is it's not an active skill. Would have been really nice to pair up one Rose with another Rose. I can see why maybe they didn't want to do that, but I do think ultimately at the end of the day it would have been a lot more fun to pair up the Rose units, the base form with the transformed form. I think would have been pretty cool, and could have been a really good time to run them together. With that being said, team runs pretty nicely, pretty smoothly. This is a decently difficult stage. I wouldn't say it's the hardest red zone or anything like that at all, but it is decently difficult, and the team runs, on a scale of 1 to 10, probably at like an 8, which is really nice. I think does really well. And then we also have the Easy Aid Rose on the team. a unit that I personally quite like a lot, and he does well here. Obviously this event has a bit of an easier opening gambit. Being a tech phase also helps him out as well quite a bit, so he does tend to be catered to a little bit, which is fine. Like I said, he does a really good job, and he's a big damage dealer for us, so very happy with how he does. And then finally we have the physical Janemba. Pretty good unit. Obviously increases his attack and defense in the the second or third slot, but he has guard against all attacks in the first or second slot. So for the beginning of stages, you technically want to run him in the first two positions, just because you tend to get the most out of them and the fastest, stacking and things like that. But then, you also probably run him eventually in the first slot, because that's just where he's best. You can run him third slot. It's not like he's impossible to run there. You're going to see me running him there, and he takes a little bit of damage, but nothing too crazy. It's just one of those things. So yeah, overall, just pretty good kind of team. I try to spice up some of these teams, so I really wanted to throw in a couple of the Dragon Ball Heroes units and things like that, and really just kind of try them out, try a bit of a mixed team, and just see how they perform when it's not solely Dragon Ball Heroes units. But yeah, this Goku Black actually was really impressive. I was super duper happy with his performance, and he did some really big damage, so I think overall the team worked quite well. You can obviously replace these units as much as you want, and run whatever team you really want to, but I think for me, I was honestly really impressed. I think the team did a good job. I think they were very solid. I think the synergy was decent, all things considered. And yeah, I think ultimately at the end of the day, it was a really fun team. And I had a lot of fun running it, and for me it was just ultimately a good team to run, with good synergy, and got the job done. Which at the end of the day is all you can really ask for. Every time you get the dub, it's basically everything you need. And you can see this really big damage by the Rose. So yeah, very, very impressive stuff. But that is basically going to be it for me. Obviously you can see we got the win. Pretty good stuff. Like I said, the Super Dragon Ball Heroes Red Zone's not necessarily the hardest, but still super nice stuff at the end of the day. And that is basically going to be it for me. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next one. So until then, as always, take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.